My name is Borat. This is my country of Kazakhstan. Greatest country in the world.
In my country, Kazakhstan, the Marx Brothers are unknown.
Who are you? I'm fine, thanks. Who are you?
I didn't become familiar with their movies until I grew up. When I first saw them, it was like discovering something new. I have to accept their extravagant and provocative performances.
And 8 pieces of French pastry.
There's 2 hard-boiled eggs.
And 2 hard-boiled eggs. Make that 3 hard-boiled eggs.
If I want to enjoy their comedies. But at the same time, the Marx Brothers movies make adults feel like carefree children. There are no limits and boundaries. Groucho can be clever and cynical.
He left me his entire fortune.
Is that so? Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you.
Always ready with remarks, they can turn any situation to his advantage. Chico plays cunning rogue, often vulgar, hiding his intelligence behind the fake Italian accent.
Piazza muscolo in the room full of faccia di pazzi.
And Harpo, without saying a word, create house and fun. His silent gestures, energy, and sudden flashes of joy make him unforgettable. They are type of comedians whose motivations we never understood. Before making the first picture together in 1929, the Marx Brothers had been performing on the stage for over 20 years, working their way up small vaudeville roles to the Palace on Broadway and achieving huge success on live stages. Hollywood studios took notice of their popularity, and Paramount Pictures invited them to turn their Broadway hits into movies. So in 1929, with the advent of sound films, the Marx Brothers signed with Paramount, and the first 2 movies were basically a filmed version of their stage performances. The screen adaptations retained the same writers and composer who had worked on original stage versions. The Cocoanuts takes place in Florida hotel during the land boom of the 1920s. Groucho plays a greedy hotel manager, always trying to sell worthless land to wealthy guests and attempting to charm the wealthy Mrs. Potter, played by Margaret Dumont, in hopes of joining her fortune.
I don't think you'd love me if I were poor.
I might, but I'd keep my mouth shut.
Chico and Harpo arrive in small-time crook seeking easy money.
Do you know that suitcase is empty? That's all right. We fill it up before we leave.
But instead of succeeding, they bring confusion and chaos. Groucho hires them to assist them at land of auction. Yet instead of helping, they only create more problems. The story centers on young Bob Adams, the struggling architect who loves Polly Potter, the daughter of the wealthy Mrs. Potter. Their romance faces strong opposition from Polly's mother, who wants her to marry a wealthy man instead. Meanwhile, 2 jewel thieves plot to steal a valuable necklace, setting off serious mix-up and frantic chases through the hotel.
You remember me, Prince of Wales.
Who is it?
Me, the King of England. My father!
The comedy in the Cocoanuts came straight off vaudeville. Groucho was already fully formed. From the start, his comedy is built on the relentless speed, sarcastic, sharp-tongued, and cynical about everything. He doesn't just talk at the characters, he talks through them, reducing every serious exchange to nonsense.
Get some onions, that'll make your eyes water. What? You too.
Chico comes across as sly trickster. His comedy is built around misunderstanding and wordplay, delivered with his trademark mock Italian accent.
I'm not playing Ask Me Another. I say that's a viaduct. All right, viaduct. That's what that's viaduct. Why no chicken?
Harpo is a real anarchist, silent but impossible to ignore. He speaks through horns, whistles, and the destruction of anything within reach. His comedy isn't built on dialogue but on house, but it also feels nearly non-stop with the noise. The environment is mostly static, like a stage set, and the movie is structured like Broadway show. Sketch routines are generally separate from the main plot. The songs and musical numbers are light and pleasant. However, Some of these numbers feel like interruptions rather than part of the story. Nevertheless, the picture is above average.
Very nice.
It features sparkling jokes, clever routines, and a decent plot. After the success of the Cocoanuts, the Marx Brothers quickly made another movie adaptation of the Broadway hit Animalcrackers. Like their first picture, it was mostly based on the stage show. This time, Paramount wanted the screenplay for Animalcrackers to be more tightly structured. They also expected more disciplined direction. To achieve this, Paramount brought in Victor Herman. Herman's main directing experience was a serious drama, such as silent film Rupert of Hentzau. So he had also written and directed comedies for Max Sennett in the past. Animalcrackers is at a fancy party in the Long Island mansion of Mrs. Rittenhouse, played once again by Margaret Dumont. Groucho appears as a famous African explorer, Captain Jeffrey Spaulding, invited as a guest of honor. Using his countless wisecracks, he quickly turns the fancy gathering into a chaotic battleground of sarcasm and silentness.
I always thought that polar bears lived in the frozen north.
Oh, you did? Well, this bear was anemic and he couldn't stand the cold climate.
Chico and Harpo arrive as duo musicians who create just as much trouble as they do entertainment, filling the house in the house.
Don't put it on that.
The main plot involves a theft of valuable painting that soon vanishes, leading to confusion, suspicion, and mistaken identities. Alongside this mystery runs a secondary story about young lovers facing disapproval from a wealthy mother, another familiar theme from the brothers' earlier movie. This time, the focus is more on the Marx Brothers themselves. It allows Groucho, Chico, and Harpo to take center stage. In Animalcrackers, Groucho steps into one of his most iconic roles, Captain Jeffrey Spaulding. Unlike the hotel manager of the Cocoanuts, here Groucho doesn't just crack jokes, he delivers full monologues, dripping with absurdity, self-pride, and cynical one-liners.
Pardon me while I have a strange interlude.
His patter comes with a rhythm, closer to stand-up comedy than dialogue. Chico sharpens his identity in Animalcrackers. His Italian accent becomes a full persona. The sly, fast-talking schemer who pretends to be dime while outsmarting everyone.
You see, if we don't rehearse, we don't play. And if we don't play, that runs into money.
Harpo in Animalcrackers is openly offensive, especially toward women. Where in the Cocoanuts he was a harmless pickpocket or prankster, here he pushes the house further. He chases women around the house, grabs them without hesitation.
Yeah, she can't take it there.
It's aggressive, even predatory, but always staged as absurd slapstick, so that his shock is softened by the sheer surrealism of his behavior. The comedy flows better with the plot this time. Some routines and sketches go on a bit long and can seem slow, but they are all crafted with the care and creativity, like a Chico's piano playing. The routines sometimes seem endless,
I can't think of the finish.
yet the absurdity keeps them fun. The picture balances two worlds, the formal manners of high society and the crude, vulgar antics of Marx Brothers. Groucho's constant mockery of high society.
I think marriage is a very noble institution.
The musical numbers also more smoothly woven into the story, helping the picture maintain a better rhythm. Unlike the first two movies, Monkeybusiness was not adapted from Broadway play, but was written directly for the screen. Screenplay was by C.J. Perelman and Will B. Johnston, who gave the Marx Brothers more freedom to move away from static stage sets and adopt a faster, more cinematic style of comedy. Paramount also brought in director Norman Z. MacLeod, who almost fit right into the studio director mold. MacLeod gives the movie a stronger pace and more visual motion than earlier entries. For the first time, the Marx Brothers were free to act in a completely original story, allowing the house without constraints of theatrical adaptation. Monkey Business takes place on ocean liner sailing to America. The four Marx Brothers appears as stowaways hiding in barrels, trying to avoid the ship's crew while creating chaos and disaster at every turn. Groucho delivers his usual rapid-fire wisecracks.
Just as I thought, you're yellow, grabbing at a woman's skirts.
Chico schemes with clever wordplay.
Well, I didn't eat yesterday, I didn't eat today, and I'm not going to eat tomorrow. That makes it 3 days.
And Harpo causes mayhem wherever he goes. Even Zeppo gets more screen time, playing a young romantic hero. The brothers soon become involved with rival gangsters traveling on the same ship. Groucho, Chico, and Harpo are hired as bodyguards by gangsters. A feud between the two gangs provides a backdrop for the Marx Brothers antics, with scenes ranging from shipboard confusing to wild brawls. After the ship dock, the house continues on land, leading to frantic climax filled with kidnappings, fights, and the Marx Brothers ambling along in the carefree, savage, and noisy pace originally established. Monkey Business feels faster and more energetic than the earlier Marx Brothers movies. Groucho seems sharper, almost too smart for the picture itself. He prowls like a predator with a cigar, firing insults at anyone unlucky enough to cross him.
Why, look at that face. Oh, look at that face.
Harpo unleashed in a way he never was in a movie. He is more surreal here, turning the ship itself into mischief or play. Chico thrives in new environment. His wordplay seems less like vaudeville and more like part of adventure.
Well, you pay a little bit with a little bit tough. You pay very much tough. You pay too much with too much tough.
The setting on ocean liner creates a sense of movement and freedom. The sketch routines are better crafted, with genuine pace and integration into the plot. Unlike earlier movies, Marx Brothers are no longer outsiders. They are part of the action, adding house to every scene. They are fearless and quick-witted even in dangerous situations.
Say, I can use a guy with your nerve.
Monkey Business is pure comedy, making it feel more like a true movie. Following the success of their first movie, built on original screenplay, Norman MacLeod was given the privilege of directing the Marx Brothers again. The Marx Brothers took the freedom of doing whatever they wanted. Unlike their earlier movies, Horsefeathers lean toward more surrealism and absurdism. Its humor is freer, filled with moments that defy sense but enhance the comedy. The screenplay once again written same crew. The result of their combined efforts is undoubtedly one of the weirdest things ever made. Horsefeathers take place at Huxley College, where Professor Quincy Adams Wagstaff is appointed as new president. Instead of focusing on academics, Wagstaff quickly becomes obsessed with winning the upcoming football game against rival Darwin College, believing that victory will bring glory to Huxley. To strengthen the team, he recruits two men from a local speakeasy, Paravelli and Pinky.
I'm Professor Wagstaff of Huxley College.
That means nothing to me.
Well, it doesn't mean anything to me either.
Mistakenly thinking they are professional football players. Simultaneously, a subplot involving Wagstaff's son, who is in love with Connie Bailey, the college widow, with her own romantic intelligence and connections to the rival team. The story builds towards the final football game, which descends into pure absurdity as Harpo and Chico ignore all rules of the sport, causing chaos on the field. The world of horsefeathers is closer to surrealism and fantasy than anything the Marx Brothers had done before. The logical actions appear truthful, filled with inexplicable dialogues and jokes that do not attempt realism.
You can't come in here unless you say swordfish. Now, I'll give you one more guess.
Swordfish. Swordfish. I think I got it. Is it swordfish?
That's it, you guess it.
College life is fantasy version of academia, whereas the college operates less like educational institution and more like stage for absurd comedy. Groucho, as professor, he doesn't behave like college president. He ridicules education, undermines his own authority, and pursues a college widow with endless sexual innuendo.
Come right over to my office. You can't? You're in bed? Well, in that case, I'll come over to your office.
Naughty, naughty.
Chico mixes with verbal tricks with his usual misunderstanding,
Is this your picture?
I don't think so. Doesn't look like me.
while Harpo turns into character of surrealism. He uses objects against logic, sometimes turning history into pure fantasy. The climatic football game, where Chico's antics and surreal inventations drive the house, pushes the picture fully into absurdity. Even Salvador Dali, a famous surrealist artist, felt kindred spirit with Marx Brothers, especially Harpo. After the horsefeathers, the Marx Brothers created what is now regarded as a masterpiece, ducksoup. For this picture, Paramount brought a new director, Leo McCarey, who had already established himself in comedy by shaping the earlier work of Laurel and Hardy and directing dozens of shorts in the 1920s. He had a sense of rhythm, known for his sharp timing and ability to craft comedy with clarity and precision. The new picture was shot as political satire. However, the filmmakers who made ducksoup didn't seem to be thinking of that specifically. One of the writers, Arthur Fickman, said, "Comedy is best when you upset stuffy people or nonsense. But that doesn't mean you would start out with social criticism. Comedy almost always turns into some kind of critic, and the Marx Brothers comedy is a critic of everyone who is pretentious." This time, the story takes place in the fictional, bankrupt country of Fredonia. In desperate need of money, the government seeks help from the wealthy widow Mrs. Teasdale, who agrees to lend them money.
Only if Firefly is appointed leader.
Firefly instantly turning Fredonia into a spectacle of absurd politics, where every speech, law, and order is twisted into a joke.
You didn't think they were important. Do you realize I had my dessert wrapped in those papers? Here, take this bottle back and get 2 cents for it.
Meanwhile, the neighboring country of Sylvania plots to overthrow Fredonia. The ambassador, Trentino, tries to win Mrs. Teasdale's favor and undermine Firefly's rule. He also hires 2 spies, Ciccolini and Pinky, to gather intelligence on Firefly. But instead of helping, the spies only spread confusion, failing their mission, mocking authority, and turning everything into nonsense. The fragile diplomacy collapses when Firefly and Trentino argue, escalating into outright declaration of war. Fredonia descends into chaos, with Groucho commanding the army, Chico and Harpo as hopeless officers, and final battle staged as pure surrealism.
Hey, Trentino!
Trentino, eh? That's game.
Ducksoup was created during a dark and turbulent period. In Europe, Hitler came to power in Germany, while the US grappled with continuing financial crisis. The fictional land of Fredonia is whimsical absurdity, but constantly reminds us of real-world politics, although the Marx Brothers always denied indirect connection to politics. Ducksoup echoes many issues of the time, and its satire is surprisingly relevant.
Go and break through the lines. And remember, while you're out there risking life and limb through shot and shell, we'll be in here thinking what a sucker you are.
Go and break through the lines. And remember, while you're out there risking life and limb through shot and shell, we'll be in here thinking what a sucker you are. Limb through shot and shell, we'll be in here thinking what a sucker you are.
Groucho plays a narcissistic politician who reduces everything to childish and personal insults that quickly escalate into national conflicts. He delivers cynical jokes about government, money, and war, many of which still feel modern today.
Now stop, take a card.
Card? What'll I do with the card?
You can keep it. I've got 51 left.
If Groucho is responsible for political humor, Harpo and Chico represent the world of fantasy. They seem almost outside of the roof of Fredonia, bending reality as they go. Chico turns official conversation into absurd riddles, where logic is always twisted.
Sure, we shadow fire. We shadow him all day.
But what day was that?
Saturday.
Harpo, meanwhile, ignores language rules altogether. His silence, horn, scissors, and manic energy create a surreal counterworld that clashes with the supposed seriousness of politics. Together, they give the picture a dreamlike quality. Diplomacy disintegrates into slapstick, war becomes a circus, and all boundaries between sense and absurdity disappear. Ducksoup was not warmly received on release. Depression-era audiences were not in the mood to watch uncompromising, irritating comedy that refused to accommodate their tastes and dealt with dictatorships and wars. Paramount, disappointed with its reception, decided not to renew with the Marx Brothers contract. After the commercial failure of Ducksoup, Paramount let the Marx Brothers go. Fortunately, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer producer Irving Thalberg saw potential in changing the comedy style to appeal to wider audience. Under his guidance, the Marx Brothers moved to MGM and entered new phase in their career. Thalberg believed the Paramount style, chaotic gags, weak plots, and endless vaudeville routines was too complicated for mass audiences. He insisted on tighter storytelling, making the brothers more sympathetic, and added musical romantic subplots to make the movies more accessible. His plan wasn't to change the comedic style. The brothers would still cause house, but now within a story that audiences would follow. Thalberg invested in original scripts that showcased their talents cinematically. He scheduled rehearsals of their routines in front of live audiences, cutting what didn't work and refining what did. The result was polished blend of house and story, still wild but more controlled. The story shifts from Europe to America and centers on the world of opera. Groucho plays Otis Streetfoot, a clever but quick-talking promoter who tries to help wealthy widow Mrs. Claypool break into high society by investing in New York opera. Meanwhile, he gets caught up with two struggling young lovers, Ricardo, an unknown but talented tenor, and Rosa, the opera leading soprano. Their romance faces threats from the jealous and arrogant star tenor Laspari, who pressures Rosa to marry. Chico and Harpo play Fiorella and Tommaso, Ricardo's loyal friends, who become Groucho's allies under accidental circumstance.
I don't remember packing you boys.
And the three brothers work together, help Ricardo win Rosa's love, and follow her to New York, where she had gone to sing. Along the way, they smuggled themselves into America on a luxury liner, hiding inside Groucho's giant trunk en route to New York, where more and more people pile into Groucho's tiny cabin until they explode in-house. When they arrive in New York, the brothers cause anarchy at the opera house. After Rosa refuses the arrogant tenor Raspari, he uses his influence to have her fired from the opera company. The brothers sabotage Laspari's performance, disrupt rehearsals, and help Rosa and Ricardo's romantic debut in the climatic opera scene. A Night at the Opera marks a turning point for Marx Brothers, from comedians to characters. During the Paramount years, Groucho, Chico, and Harpo often stayed outside the story. The plot moved forward, with the brothers disrupting it through absurd routines, vaudeville sketches, and musical interludes. But this time, this act is purpose and responsibility, supporting Rosa and Ricardo's romance. The Marx Brothers no longer just destroy the story, they help move it forward. Even Harpo changes. Gone are the thorns, scissors, and surreal props. We remain silent and anarchic, but the gags are now part of the plot. Chico, once a wandering trickster, is given more focus as he's formed a closer friendship with Ricardo, and Groucho, still the cynical one, plays the role of manager, a man with power who also supports Rosa, working not only for himself but to help her career. But the Marx Brothers haven't completely left their past behind. Towards the end, the movie reintroduces surreal elements similar to their Paramount days, sabotage the stage performance,
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
collapsing scenery, and turning the opera into a house. Yet, this blended with more refined MGM entertainment, elevating the whole picture beyond simple comedy. If before were intellectual, built on wordplay and cleverness, A Night at the Opera reaches new heights, emotion and sincerity, making the comedy they feel not just smart but also human. This is Stolberg's influence. He believed that the audience needed someone for the brothers to root for. For the first time, the Marx Brothers' energy is aimed at something beyond their own amusement. A Night at the Opera was a smash hit, earning over the $3 million. MGM expected to repeat the success, so Irving Thalberg once again took charge of their next picture. But the triumph of opera came with a cost. It left them with a legacy of rules to follow. It locked the Marx Brothers into a formula that MGM now demanded. There had to be a love story and grand musical numbers, and the Marx Brothers woven carefully into the narrative. For the studio, it was a guarantee of another hit. For the brothers, it means both safety and limitation. And also, this production carried a shadow. Thalberg died suddenly during filming, at only 37 years old. His death not only shocked MGM, but also left the Marx Brothers without their most important protector and creative guide. The story centers on Judy Standish, the owner of a struggling sanatorium. The sanatorium is on the verge of collapse, with the greedy businessman Morgan waiting to take it over and turn into a casino. Judy needs money to keep the place alive, and her loyal friend Tony schemes to help her by bringing in Dr. Hugo Hackenbush,
Suppose I were to tell you that I'm not the doctor you think I am.
a horse doctor hired to pose as a real physician to impress Judy's most important patron, Mrs. Emily Upjohn, a wealthy hypochondriac whose donations can keep the sanatorium alive. The love story follows Judy and Jill. A singer is hoping to win big money betting in horse racing to save the sanatorium. Harpo plays a jockey, and the Jill friends, with the sanatorium survival depending on the outcome. The Marx Brothers threw themselves into the racing world. Groucho plays Dr. Hugo Hackenbush, but unlike his earlier cynical characters, he is now sentimental and sometimes humble. Instead of attacking with sharp wit, Hackenbush spent much of the picture trying to avoid conflict.
Are you a man or a mouse?
You put a piece of cheese down there and you'll find out.
His cynicism softens, replaced by nervous charm and moments of sympathy for the sanatorium plight. Groucho becomes less of menace and more of participant in the main story. He is still funny.
If you're looking for my fingerprints, you're a little early.
His jokes are now safer, aiming to get along rather than tear everything down.
She's not exactly my type, but for you, I'd make love to a crocodile.
Harpo, for the first time, has a real profession, a jockey. Unlike before, when he was agent of house, here he plays an honest horse rider who genuinely helps save the sanatorium. He still causes mischief, but now his actions are clearly tied to the story. His gags rely less on random props and more on improvised imagination.
Oh, hack in the bush. Oh.
Chico also gets more prominence. He plays Tony, a clever working-class man, and his friendship with Jill and Judy as much as the movie's forms.
And don't worry, Miss Judy. I'm going to get us some customers if I have to make them sick myself.
The comedy feels more settled now. The picture shifts between two styles, old vaudeville routines and the Hollywood format. Chico performs
Giddy up, Tootsie Fruitsy ice cream.
the famous, straightforward vaudeville routine. Music takes up more space than before. The songs are polished, lengthy, and follow MGM standard. The final part centers on horse race. Unlike the serial football game in Horsefeathers, this race is staged with tension, but also predictability, a typical sports ending. The Marx Brothers on screen act not only show their own growth, but also reflects how the film industry itself transformed them. During the Paramount era, there were differences. The Cocoanuts and Animalcrackers were still connected to vaudeville and Broadway. They play like stage performances, static sets, and long dialogue routines. With the monkeybusiness and horsefeathers, the brothers became cinematic. The comedy speeds up, becomes more mobile, and embraces more surreal elements. Ducksoup strikes a perfect middle ground, blending vaudeville routines with cinematic pacing and tying them together through political satire. And at Metro Goldwyn Mayer, with A Night at the Opera and A Day at the Races, they have now become part of mainstream studio productions. Romance, big musical numbers, and comedy become safer and warmer.
Thank you for watching my film. I hope you like. Dziękuję.